Hey everybody, and welcome to the GLP-1 Diaries. Today is the 22nd of July, 2026, and it's been just over a month that I have been taking Wegovy. And I took my fifth injection on Friday afternoon, or Friday evening. Today is Wednesday. So, after 4 weeks, how much weight have I lost? Stay tuned. I want to talk about my experience some more, and we'll talk about how it's been going. I forgot my tripod. So this might be a little bit wiggly and not the best angle. But anywho. So I gave you an update after 7 days, and now I'm going to give you an update for what's happened in the past 3 weeks. I've been traveling. I went up to visit my mom and sister, other family, the works. So I was traveling. I flew from where I live in Pennsylvania through Chicago and into Winnipeg, Manitoba. So I was up in Canada, and I ate probably things that I probably shouldn't have, but I kept everything under control. I found that I was full quite frequently, and I didn't really have any of the food noise. There were some things that, well, there's probably a lot of things I could have done better, but I also wanted to enjoy myself. So I took my medication because I needed 3 shots while I was there. I flew out there on the 2nd of July on a Thursday, and I came back on Monday the 20th of July. And there was 3 shots I needed. I take my shots on Fridays, so I needed a shot on Friday. Oh, hang on, are they going to be in my way? No. Sorry, there's people behind me. I'm sitting in the parking lot at the Y while the hubby's in having a swim, as my normal thing on Wednesdays when I'm filming out here. Anyway, lost my train of thought. Saw people, got distracted. Anywho, I needed 3 shots while I was there, so I took the 3 shots. Were in the box, the prescription box. It had my prescription label on it. I also had a letter from my doctor who prescribed it, and just in case there's any troubles going through TSA and then going through customs and immigration once I arrived in Winnipeg. Zero troubles. They didn't even look at there, nothing. They didn't ask a question about it. There was zero worries, zero concerns about it. So that was nice and easy. I had to snicker when I did my first shot on Friday evening. My mom's a retired nurse, and she's very curious about medical anything. And so she was watching like a hawk when I did my shot on the first Friday I was out there. So it was cute. But anyway, I found that the food noise was fantastic. I wasn't really dwelling on what I wanted to eat. My meal sizes, portion sizes were nice and small. There were, my mom is conscious of what she eats and how much she eats and all of that stuff. So the portion sizes were nice and small, which was good. I had a craving for a bag of Old Dutch sour cream and onion chips. If you were from Manitoba, or if you've ever been to Manitoba, if you know, you know. But you can't get these chips. You can get them outside of Manitoba, not as easily, and you can't get them. I've only seen them in the U.S. once, and that was when we lived in Maine, and they came from from New Brunswick, I assume. There's someone coming up beside me here, so Anyway, so I looked around and they are my absolute favorite potato chips. I get them once a year. So I'm thinking that's not bad. So I went with, I found a bag, the large family size bag. We bought them on a Thursday. I finished the bag on the following Friday. So I just took like a little dessert bowl and I put about 10 chips in there at a time. And that was it. And my mom ate some of them too. So it wasn't only me eating those. So I did indulge in my Old Dutch sour cream and onion chips. I indulged in those, but I kept it very much under control, and it was really in moderation. I did have a lot more sweets than I probably needed to. My mom enjoys baking, and we made all kinds of treats that I don't make myself. Because the hubby and I would eat it all, and neither of us need that. And I like to save them for a treat. So I had a few treats, a few sugary dessert type things. At least one serving each day. But like I say, I was on vacation, and I thought I'm just going to enjoy vacation. But what I would have done last year is I would have had 3 or 4 pieces of this, like any particular kind of cake or treat. I would have had far more servings than I did have this year. So that was in my favor, and that was good. A few places we ate out, I brought leftovers home just because I couldn't finish it. We went out for Chinese food one day, and we had the leftovers the next day. And we went out to another restaurant. I took home the leftovers. I took home about at least half of the meal, and my mom and I shared that the next day for lunch. It was enough left over that it was enough for 2 of us to have lunch from it. It was a massive portion. So I did really well that way. In the airport, I probably didn't do as well. When I came home, I had my hand was falling asleep. I'm sorry, guys. Anywho, I'm back. My hand was falling asleep and the phone slipped. It's balanced on the steering wheel and the phone slipped and fell down. So my eating in the airport was not that good. When I went out, my flight was at 6:30 in the morning. I had about an hour and a half in Chicago, and then we landed in Winnipeg 11:30. So I had, when I went to through the airport, I had a sausage egg McMuffin, hash browns, and a Diet Coke at McDonald's. And coming back, I had a ridiculous layover in Chicago. I left Winnipeg at 7 in the morning. I was at the airport 4:45. But I got to, the flight left at 7. So got to Chicago, I had a sausage egg McMuffin, the hash brown, and Diet Coke for breakfast. Then for lunch I had a quarter pounder with cheese and small fries and a small Diet Coke for lunch. I did not have anything healthy when I was in the airports. And on for supper time, because I didn't get into Pennsylvania until 9, no, it was actually 10:15 at night. We were supposed to get there at 9:30, but we got there to 9:45. So I went to Auntie Annie's and I got one of their pretzel dogs. So it's just like a wiener with a pretzel wrapped around it, and a Coke Zero. So I did not have anything healthy. I had more sodium that day than I probably had for the previous week. Having a Coke Zero this morning. Anyway, what else? There was something else I thought of I was going to tell you about. I ate a lot of fruit. Ate a lot of apples, some mango. I had cherries. The cherries were in peak ripeness. So I ate a lot of cherries. And they help with any side effect of constipation. That's one thing they do for me. But my side effects have so far continued to be very minimal. I really don't have any problems with constipation or diarrhea. It's just everything's normal there. I have the odd little wave of nausea, but it's nothing. Nothing really. It's nothing that's of any concern. It's not bothersome at all. And I don't really have any other side effects. So touch wood, it continues that way. It should, but I will be upping my dose. I have 3 more doses at the lowest dose of Wegovy, and once I start my 3rd month, the dose is just, they're going to increase the dose one notch up. I can't remember if it goes from 2.5 to 5. I can't remember for sure. But I will be increasing the dosage in 3 weeks. And then we'll see what happens there. The end result, since I took my first injection, I weighed myself the morning that I took my first injection. And from then until this morning, I've lost 12 pounds. A little over 12 point something. Can't remember if it's 12.2 or 12.8, but it's 12 point something pounds. When I was in Manitoba, I lost 6 pounds. So I lost a chunk of weight right from the get-go. And I didn't have access to a scale. Well, I used my mom's scale when I was in Manitoba, and I kind of hovered around up a pound, down 2 pounds, up a pound, down a pound. And then when I got on my own scale this morning, so I had weighed myself on the 1st of July, and then again I weighed myself on the 20th this morning, because I flew in on the 20th. I stayed at the hotel by the airport, and then we drove home from there. The hubby came and picked me up. We drove home from the airport home. It's like an extra hour drive from the airport. And so I didn't have access to my scale, so I didn't weigh myself until today. So since I've started in 4.5 weeks on Wegovy, I've lost just a little over 12 pounds. Granted, I have a lot of weight to lose, but if I can maintain losing about 10 to 12 pounds a month, I will be ecstatic, because that'll put me at over 100 pounds down in less than a year. So we shall see, but I'm ecstatic with 12 pounds. If I lose another 12 next month, I will be over the moon. But my plans for the next little while coming up are to continue working on portion control and continue working on kind of minimizing any type of foods I should eat less of. So this morning our typical plans on Wednesdays, we get up, we do our time on the treadmill, then we go out to Wendy's for breakfast. And typically I have the breakfast Baconator sandwich with the large portion of the potatoes and a large Coke Zero. So today I only had the sandwich and the drink. I did not have the potatoes. We are going out for dinner this evening, and we're going to go to Arby's, and they have a cheesesteak sandwich with fries, the curly fries, and a drink combo. Hubby and I are going to split that. So we're going to share the fries, and we're going to split the sandwich in half, and we'll share it. If he's still hungry afterwards, he's going to go back and get a bit more. But he's also keen on losing a bit of weight too, without having to take the medication. So he has more discipline than I do, and he doesn't have issues with food noise and blah, 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 all that stuff. So he's quite happy eating smaller portions with me. So that's our plans for eating today. Not the healthiest, but I am going to be spending the next month really working on keeping tabs on how much I'm eating. Do a little bit better tracking of my food, a little bit better keeping an eye on how many calories I'm consuming. I am making a point of eating my proteins first and making sure I'm getting adequate fiber, and I'm doing that mostly through some grains, but I'm trying to eat a fair bit of fruit. I specifically want to make sure I get an apple a day, but I need to start tracking that better. And especially when I was traveling, I didn't have control over what I was eating. I was dependent on what my mom was making, although she was 100% on board with making sure I was getting the things I needed to make this work. So it was good. My first month has been really good. So we will see what the next week is like, or the next month is like. I'm not sure what I'm going to be talking about next week, but this is my update for 1 month on Wegovy. Minus 12 point something pounds. I'm a happy girl. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye.